Are you staring at a half-finished manuscript plagued by endless to-do lists and procrastination? What if I told you that in this video, I'm going to give you 3 game-changing hacks that helped me go from procrastination to actually finishing my book and becoming a productive author. Get ready to discover how to create ruthless writing schedules, smash huge goals with tiny steps, and banish distractions for good. So the first thing that you need to understand is the fact that there is a silent saboteur that probably is preventing you from finishing your book. And this is the inner critic. It can be really, really frustrating to have an inner critic who keeps on showing up and telling us we're not good enough. We will never finish the book. We will never live our dreams. And this will usually lead to us doing other stuff than what we're supposed to do. This is when we will, when the inner critic comes, we will usually feel fear. And what do we do when we feel fear? Well, sometimes we hide. And this is when we will start scrolling social media, pick up our phones, get doing busy work, and not actually sit down and write. So it's really important that you try and look out for the patterns that they show up in and try to stop it when it happens. Another silent saboteur is the thought that you don't have enough time. And the harsh truth is you do have time. You need to prioritize writing if you want to become an author and if you want to finish that book. And saying that you don't have time is really rude to people who are working full time, have small children at home, and still manage to write a book a year. So it's all about you prioritizing your time. And yeah, that can be hard to hear, but I think that we need to wake up and see that it is the reality. The reality is that most of us spend too much time on our phones. Most of us spend too much time watching TV shows that we don't even like. And saying you don't have time is, it's not a legit reason for you not to write. If you say you don't have time, the truth is you're not prioritizing writing. You need to start showing up for yourself. And if you say you're going to do something, you need to start doing it. You need to start proving to yourself that you are the person that you say you want to be. And why do we procrastinate on our dreams? All of this does lead to us having a bunch of unfinished stories within our heads that we could have shared with the world. And that could have been a part of someone's life, something that they look forward to reading and that they will love. And I think we owe it to ourselves to try and follow our dreams and try to live our dreams. This is why I'm making this video, because I want to inspire you to actually sit down and write and not procrastinate on your dreams. Because if I wouldn't follow my dreams, if I wouldn't try to become an author, I would probably end up bitter and sad, and I don't want to do that. So I'm giving it my all, and we will see what happens. Doing that at the end of the day, at the end of my life, I will know that I gave it all I got and I tried. And I hope that you will do that too, because writing, being creative, having that sort of outlet for me is such a relief. It's something that I want to spend my time doing, and it makes me happy in the long run, even if it's really, really hard sometimes. So let's talk about the hacks that will help you not procrastinate. Hack number 1 is the ruthless writing schedule. There are no excuses here, and this is perfect if you want to start writing in 2026. So take some time on this and think it through, okay? First of all, I want you to implement something called the deep work principle. Deep Work is a book written by, I don't know what his name is, but you will see the book. You will see the book here. So Deep Work is a really interesting book, and it's an entire concept where you will sit down and do focused, hard work in blocks of time. And what happens when we do this is that we hopefully will get into flow, we will get into deep focus mode, and that's when we're the most productive. And I do this at my day job. I do this when I'm writing. And this is how I'm so productive, because when I do this, I will end up writing a lot more. And at my job, I will end up, going through my tasks a lot faster, a lot better. And that is why you need to do deep work. And deep work basically is, so you will set off an amount of time, like 1 or 2 hours. Maybe you'll do the Pomodoro method, I don't know. But take that time and make sure that you have decided before you start what you're going to work on, how long you get to work on it, and don't let any distractions slow you down. So I usually, on my phone, I will put on a focus app, which blocks all my social media, because yes, I do love social media. On my computer, I will turn off the email program. I will turn off all the notifications and things that can distract me so that I can actually focus. And I want you to find slots of time in your calendar and actually do this. If you have a family at home, during some of your writing, you don't need to do this during all your writing time, but every now and then make sure that you have these deep focus, deep work slots of time where you actually can sit and focus. And if you sit down and you're like, I don't know, I don't have anything to write, my head is just blank, then you will probably want to reach your phone or start Googling prompts or whatever. Don't. Take that time, sit, and just think. Be bored. This is really hard for us. I know it's hard for me too, but this is like when you have when you only use a pen and paper and you sit and you actually let your thoughts wander, you daydream, you think about the manuscripts. At first, it's going to be really hard, but after a while, your story will start showing up and you will be able to actually write it in an undistracted way and you will go into focus mode. So it's like when you work out, like some days it's really hard to go to the gym, but you need to go get through the harder workout sessions to get to the good part where you end up in like runner's high. And another thing that has to do with the ruthless writing schedule is the power of commitment. So I want you to tell people that you're going to write. I want you to tell people how often you're going to write. And I want you to tell them when you're going to write. Because once you do this, you will actually create a cue in your mind, because people are going to ask, how did the writing go last week? How did the writing go yesterday? And if you haven't written, like, you haven't only disappointed yourself, but actually other people who thought you were going to do it. And this is a great way to actually nudge ourselves over the edge, and so that we will do what we said we're going to do. And last but not least, I want you to schedule time in your calendar so that even if life happens and you can't write on the time that you were going to write, don't just skip writing that day. Move it to another time in your calendar so that you always have a reminder. Because, you know, with work, if I have a meeting in my calendar, it's not like I'm not going to skip going because I have a bad day. I will show up, I will do my best. And the same comes with the writing. That's why I have all my writing slots in my calendar. Hack number 2 is about you setting the right goals. So when we try to finish a book, we usually have this big vision of you're going to finish the entire manuscript, 100,000 words, you're going to hold it in your hand, and that's great, but that can be like an overwhelming goal for you to have. So I want you to break down your goals into tiny steps. So when writing a book, what do you need to do? Well, first of all, you need a first draft. So if you don't have a first draft, that will be your main focus for now. And with your first draft, you need to break that down into like, how long is the book going to be? If you don't know, then you should look it up, like look what kind of genre you're writing in and what the word expectancy is for that. So if you're writing fantasy, maybe it's around 100,000 words. Maybe if you write romance, maybe it's 75,000 words, and so forth. You need to know your genre and the genre expectations, and you actually should follow this because it's a great guideline, because the readers want to the reader don't want to have a romance that's 200,000 words long unless you're writing romantasy. So do that, do your homework, and after you've figured out, so okay, the book you're going to write is roughly around 90,000 words, say it is that. And then you're going to break that down into writing session goals, or like tiny steps. So say you can write 500 words each and every writing session you have. So 500 words, 90, okay, I'm gonna need a calculator for this because math ain't my strong suit. So if it's 90,000 words, let's see, 90,000 words, and you write 500 words a day, that's 108 days. So it will take you 180 writing days or writing sessions. It will take you 180 writing sessions to actually finish the manuscript. And now you know that. So can you write each and every single day? Can you write each and every single weekend? How often can you put in writing time in your calendar so that you can finish this goal? Every time that you hit a goal, every time you reach 500 words, which is your now writing goal, celebrate it in some way. I don't know. For me, I have a habit app where I will tick off the fact that I've written every single day. This is, I don't know, for me, it's just a small win to have that tick, to still be on that writing streak. But I also, whenever I do a first draft, I also have a spreadsheet where I fill in how long I've been writing for, how many words I've written, and so forth. This helps me keep track of my writing pace, how it's going, and everything like that. So that's how I do it, but you don't have to do it like that. But you need to find a way so that each and every single time you write, like when you look back, so when I've had a bad week with writing, I feel like I haven't gone anywhere. When I look back at that spreadsheet, I will see that, oh my God, I've still written 7,000 or 10,000 words this week. I've come a lot further than I thought I had. So that's why it's so important that you also try to track if you're able to, and then celebrate each and every single milestone. Celebrate when you've written a chapter. Celebrate when you finished your first draft, because each and every single step you take towards your goal is a win. Most people never even finish a book, a first draft. So keep going, but keep remembering to celebrate. Hack number 3 is actually about where you write. You want to create a distraction-free zone where your brain will always be like, when you sit down and write for the day, your brain will automatically associate that space or that time with writing. For me, I've built up I'm a morning person, so I've built up a writing habit where first thing I do each morning is I go to my balcony, I sit down for 15 minutes and I meditate. This is just to calm down, let go of whatever I've been dreaming about that night or whatever happened previously this week, because I want to get into the zone of my creative genius, or my writing. And after that, I will write morning pages. And after that, I sit down and write. So right now, when I sit down and write, I usually put on some, ambient music and some slow video on YouTube. And I have that on one screen. And then I have my writing project on the another screen. And then I light a candle, and that's it. It's super cozy. It's super nice. And yeah, that's all I need. And on my phone, I have turned on that focus app so I can't reach social media. And that's it. And I get into my habit of writing and I feel energized and I can focus. So the way you can do this is by try to declutter your writing space, try to create some cozy vibes, and make sure that you have some sort of cue towards getting into writing mode fast. Just the way that when I go to the gym, my body instantly reacts and know that, okay, now we're going to work out, now we're going to have fun. And another thing that I think is underrated is, of course, digital detox. I know that this is hard. I'm struggling with it myself, but I am trying to improve a lot. If you can, try not having your phone in the room with you when you write. And if you get stuck in your manuscript, go for a walk or go for a run without your phone. Don't bring your phone. Don't listen to music. Don't listen to audiobooks. Just be in the presence of your own mind and let your thoughts run wild until they slow down. I know this is scary. It's scary for me too, but this really, really helps me and makes sure that I don't procrastinate later, because I show myself that it's okay to be bored. And I think this is really important for us as writers, especially when we're trying to beat procrastination. And last but not least, I've already talked about this, but you should try to create your own pre-writing habits, like have some sort of ritual before you start writing. And I would love to hear what kind of ritual you have. So let me know in the comments what your pre-writing ritual will be, and I can get inspired by it. So that's all for today. I hope that these 3 hacks inspires you to stop procrastinating and write more. I think that you can do this. I'm sure of it. And remember that every word written is a step closer to your publishing dream. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.